and thank you for volunteering to create one or more of the supplement pages this year. I want to walk you through how to download the materials for the page and then how to interact with that material in InDesign, and then what to do when you need to finish and get that finished page or pages back to me in a way that still contains all of the pictures in the page. So for starters, we have this supplement folder with subfolders for each of the page or pages that you may need. Let's say I was going to be working on the track and field page. I would need to download this entire folder. So you can either right click and download from here, and it will download that folder with everything in it. So I'm going to do that downloading so you can see how that would work, and it'll zip the file and bring everything with it. And just so you can see what's in that file, in each of these folders you have a blank template for using InDesign. In the sports pages you have a left and a right, so they're labeled. You may have some single pictures kicking around here, but you'll also have a folder of pictures that you're expected to use for your page. You may have additional photos that you come up with elsewhere. A couple of people on the team have access to team albums, and they've worked with that as well. But mostly you will be using the pictures that are already ready and waiting for you right here. Once you have this downloaded, you will have all of these materials on your computer. You need to keep them on your computer until I have your file and have approved the page. It may look like you can delete things, but you can't get rid of any of these parts before we have the page fully packaged and exported. So we're going to take a look at that's in my downloads. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to my downloads, and there's the zip file. I'm going to unzip the zip file. Now I have a folder. Now I don't want to work with that folder in my downloads. As I'm working with this material, I need to keep everything together. I am going to place that on my desktop because I want to be able to have it right there. If you don't want to see things on your desktop, then decide where you need to keep it while you're working on it, because you can't move it during the creation process for that page. So there's my folder right there, and I'm going to leave it right here. In fact, I'm going to go do this and remind myself that I don't want to move it anywhere with a little color tag. And now I am ready to open. I'm going to open the right page of the template so you can see where we're starting from, and this will open InDesign. Now at this point you've already gone to Adobe, you've downloaded InDesign, you've installed it, opened it up, it all works great. Fabulous. So when you open this, you may get some message like this. This is because the pictures from last year are referenced in the file for the page, but not the photos that are in the folder that you just downloaded, because they're this year's photos that are in the folder. Okay, so this is an example of what could happen if you move the page relative to the photo folder. You will end up with these broken links, so that's a problem. So the first thing you're going to want to do, right, is if you click on the picture in the middle and you can hit delete, you can clear out all of last year's pictures. So one of the things you want to think about is when you click, if you get the green around it, that's the frame. We don't want to delete the frame, we want to delete the picture. If you click in the middle, you'll see you get this pink line, and then you can delete the picture. So just make sure when you're clicking on that central icon to get rid of the pictures, but keep the, keep the frames. There are lots of spaces here. We've made the pictures about as small as we want them. I don't know that I would make them any smaller, trying to fit in more. See what you can do. We want those action shots. We want to make sure we get certainly all the seniors in, and folks that are sort of stars of the stars of the team or the production or whatever it is we're doing. Okay, so here we have the blank to work with. And now in order to put in a picture, we're going to want to file place. Please don't drag and drop, okay? So you're going to file, when you file place, you're going to want to make sure that you are going back to your track and field and then the photos that you have available for 2023, okay? And then we're going to be selecting the picture that you want to put in the spot on the page. So one of the things you want to consider, go back here for a second, this is sort of a slightly horizontal picture, and then we have vertical pictures, right? So in order to place into that slightly square, we're going to want something that maybe is slightly square, right? So let's say we wanted this one. We would then hit open. In order to pull that up to see it, you just hit your space bar, right? So now this is in here. Now this is not fitting particularly well because I kind of do want to see his feet with that. So maybe I need this to be a little bit narrower, but I don't want to then have this not line up with these squares, so that kind of thing. So I mean, maybe would need to put a different picture in there. Let me do a vertical instead because it'll be easier right now. There we go. Awesome. All right. So here we realize that it pastes in pretty big. You can pinch on your trackpad to make it smaller, or you can grab a corner. And we want to make sure that it fits in the frame and we can't see the background behind it, right? So you can also, if you double click and grab a corner, that's not bad. We want to make sure that we don't distort it, right? So if you grab a corner to work with, right, it's possible to distort things. In order to not have that happen, if you hold the shift key down, it will only size in the same proportion, so you don't get those distortions. So that's an important thing to remember as you are changing the size of your images. Okay, so fill in the page. If there are parts that you need to like resize with the name of the team or whatever you need to do, go for it. When you are done, here's the important thing. You need to file package this page in order to then send it back to me and still have all the photos in it. Really important. So if you do file package and you have package over here, we want to make sure that there's the summary. We want to make sure on that summary, this one right here, see how there's one missing link? That's the background because that picture is last year's picture, not this year's picture. So you will have that one missing picture, but you shouldn't have any other missing pictures, just one, right? Everything else should be fine. Then we're going to package. Oh yeah, I haven't saved it yet. Track page. Please give it a 23 and whatever it is, and whether it's the right or left page. We haven't numbered the pages yet, so you won't be responsible for that part, but you are going to want to package this page in a way that makes sense. I would suggest leaving it in this folder with everything else for just a minute, and I'll show you what that will look like in a moment. Okay. Yes, copy fonts, linked graphics, update graphic links, include everything that's checked here. That's exactly what we want it to look like. You're going to package, ignore this. Yes, that's just the one link that's the background page. Okay, so in order to see what that looks like, here you will see 23 track right folder, right? So now this whole folder and this page is what I need to get from you. So you would then select both of these, right? You would file, compress, create a zip file, this archive. With that archive, I need you to rename it, right? Track 23R for right. And then this zip file is what I need you to drop back into the submissions folder for the supplement pages. There'll be a link to that in the Edsby page or Edsby group. So if you can follow all of those directions, we should be fine, and you should be able to export the page with all the links. Now again, the super key important thing is that this folder that you downloaded with the initial photos and pages and photos is still on your computer. Don't delete them. Don't move it. If you move this, if I move this page from this folder, it will no longer link back to those pictures, right? If you run into problems where the pictures are showing a little unlinked icon in the page, come see me, right? And let's see what we can do. And then we should be all set. So thank you very much. And again, if you have questions at all, please come see me with your computer and we can sit down and figure out whatever it is you need. So thank you very much for all of your efforts on making the pages for the supplement. I would remind you that we have some pretty short deadlines this year. So if you can get them in before the end of April, so before the 29th, that's really key. In fact, the more pages we can get in by the 21st, the better. And then we will be able to get all of the pages approved before printing. So thank you very much for that, and I look forward to seeing what you create.